Hello, awesome students. Thank you for joining me today for another reading of Magnus Chase. This is the book that I'm going to be reading. I decided instead of going chapter by chapter, because some of these chapters can get a little bit long, I decided to read somewhere between 10 to 13 minutes. Also, it's a little bit long. If it's too long, then it's hard to upload them onto Canvas. But what was mentioned in chapter 3 was White's Barrow. I did some research on that, and that came up in Lord of the Rings. It's an evil cult. So some bad guys. So when I left off last time, I left off on the end of page 26. We have to stop the invasion before it happens, Sam said. Which means finding the Hammer of Thor. You're sure Otis said Providence Town? Yeah, a White's Barrow. What is that? Is that bad? On a scale of 1 to 10, it's up there in the high 20s. We'll need Hearthstone and Blitzen. Despite the circumstances and the possibility of seeing my old buddies lifted my spirits. You know where they are? Sam hesitated. I know how to get in contact with them. They've been hiding in one of Mimar's safe houses. I tried to process that Mimar, the disembodied god's head, who traded drinks from the well of knowledge for years of servitude, who had ordered Blitzen and Hearth to keep an eye on me while I was homeless, because I was important to the fate of the worlds, who ran an inner world pinnacle racket and other shady experiences. Mimar, by the way, is a head of a god, basically, that's preserved. Mimir, Mimar. Mimar had collected a safe house. I wonder what he was charging my friends for rent. Why are Blitz and Hearth in hiding for? I should let them explain, Sam said. They didn't want to worry you. That was so not funny, I laughed. They disappeared without a word because they didn't want me to worry. Look, Magnus, you needed time to train, to settle into Valhalla, to get used to these warrior powers that you've obtained. Hearthstone and Blitzen just got a bad omen in the ruins. They've been taking precautions, staying out of sight. For this quest, though, a bad omen? Sam, the assassin, said I should be prepared to lose my friends. I know, she picked up her coffee. Her fingers trembled. We'll be careful, Magnus. But for the White's tomb, rune magic and underground skills could make all the difference. Well, we'll need Hearth and Blitzen for sure. I'll contact them this afternoon. Then I promise I'll fill you in on everything. There's more? You haven't told me everything? Suddenly I felt like I've been sitting at the Thanksgiving kiddie table for the past 6 weeks. I missed out on all the important conversations among the adults. I didn't like the kiddie table. Sam, you don't need to protect me, I said. I'm already dead. I'm a freaking warrior of Odin who lives in Valhalla. Let me help. You will, she promised, but you need training time, Magnus. When we went after the Sword of Summer, we got lucky. For what comes next, you'll need all your skills. The current of fear in her voice made me shiver. I hadn't considered us lucky when we retrieved the Sword of Summer. We had come close to dying multiple times. 3 of our comrades had suffered their lives. We barely managed to stop Furnace Wolf and a host of fire giants from ravaging the 9 worlds. If that was lucky, I did not want to see unlucky. Sam reached across the table. She took my cranberry orange scone and nibbled off the edge. The icing was the same color as her bruised eye. I should get back to school. I can't miss another AP physics class. This afternoon I have some fires to put out at home also. I remembered what she said about Loki trying to mess up her personal life, and that little hitch of doubt when she said Almayer's name. Anything I can help with? Maybe I can stop by Fadlan's cafe and talk to Almayer. No, her cheeks flushed. No, thank you, but definitely no. See, Admire is a fiance of Sam. So that's a no then? Magnus, I know you mean well. There's lots on my plate, but I can't handle it. But I can handle it. I'll see you tonight at the feast for the... ... Her expression soured. You know, the newcomers. I meant the soul she had gone to reap. As a responsible Valkyrie, Sam would have to be there at the nightly feast to introduce the newest warrior in Valhalla. I studied the bruise under her eye, and something dawned on me. This soul you picked up, I said, this new warrior, he punched you, didn't he? Sam scowled. It's complicated. I bet some violent warrior, but never one who would dare punch a Valkyrie. That was suicide behavior, even for someone who was already dead. What kind of idiot? Wait, did this have anything to do with that wolf howl I heard from across the commons when I was chasing the assassin? Sam's dark eyes smoldered, right on the edge of combustion. You'll hear about it tonight. She rose and picked up the assassin's axe. Now, go back to Valhalla. Tonight, you'll have the pleasure of meeting... She paused, considered her words. My brother. I think her brother's a wolf, actually. A cheetah runs me over. Chapter 4. When choosing an afterlife, it's important to consider location. Suburban afterlives in the Folkwagner and Niflheim may offer lower cost of not living. But Valhalla's Midgard entrance is right in the heart of the city, on Beacon Street from the Boston Commons. You'll be within easy walking distance of the best shops and restaurants in less than a minute from the Park Street T station. Yes, Valhalla, for all your Viking paradise needs. Okay, sorry. I told the hotel management I'll put a plug in for them. But it was pretty easy getting back home. After buying a bag of chocolate-covered espresso beans at the coffee shop, I made my way through the public gardens, past my own camping spot under the footbridge. A couple of grizzly dudes sat in the nest of my sleeping bags, sharing garbage bin leftovers with a little rat terrier. Hey guys, I handed them Otis's trench coat and hat, along with all the mortal money I had on me, about $24. He gave it to homeless people. Have a good day, Magnus said. The guys were too startled to respond. I kept walking, feeling like I had an axe stuck out of my sternum. Just because I'd been killed by a fire giant 2 months ago, I got to live in luxury. Meanwhile, these guys and their terrier ate from the garbage bin. It wasn't fair. I wish I could round up every homeless person in Boston and say, hey guys, there's a big mansion right over here with thousands of comfy suites and free food forever. Come follow me. But that wouldn't work. You couldn't bring mortals into Valhalla. You couldn't even die on purpose to get there. Your death had to be an unplanned, selfless act, and you had to hope there was a Valkyrie around to see it. Of course, that still made Valhalla better than the high-rise condos sprouting up all around downtown. Most of them were full of empty luxury apartments. Too shiny luxury apartments too. Shiny fourth or fifth homes for billionaires. You didn't need a brave death to get in, just lots of money. If the Giants did invade Boston, maybe I could convince them to do some strategic condo stomping. Finally, I reached the Midgard location at the Hotel Valhalla. From the outside, it looked like an 8-story mansion of gray and white stone, just another piece of super expensive real estate in a row of colonial townhouses. The only difference, the hotel's front garden was completely enclosed by a 15-foot tall limestone wall with no entryway. The first of many defenses to keep non-warriors from trespassing. I jumped straight over and into the grove of Gajar. A couple of Valkyries hovered in the branches of the white birch tree, collecting its 24-karat gold foliage. They waved to me, but I didn't stop to chat. I marched up to the front steps and pushed open the heavy double doors. In the cathedral-sized lobby, the usual scene was going on. In front of the roaring fireplace, teenage warriors hung out, playing board games or just chillaxing, which is like chilling, except with battle axes, chillaxing. Other warriors in fuzzy green hotel bathrobes chased around each other around the rough-hued pillars that lined the hall, playing hide-and-seek and kill. Their laughter echoed off the ceiling high above, where the rafters gleamed with the points of thousands of bundled spears. I glanced over to the reception desk, wondering if Sam's mysterious eye-puncher brother might be checking in. The only person there was the manager, Haggai. Glowing at his computer screen, one sleeve of his green suit had been ripped off. Chunks of his epic eye beard had been pulled out. His hair even looked more like a dead buzzard than usual. Don't go over there, warned a familiar voice. Hundling, the bellhop, saddled up next to me, the warty red face covered with fresh scratches. His beard, like Hungai's, looked like it had recently been caught in a chicken plucking machine. Boss is in a foul mood, he said. Like beat you with a stick foul mood type. You don't look so happy yourself, I noted. What's happening? Hunding's beard quivered with anger. Our newest guest happened. Sam's brother is the new guest? Humph. If you want to call him that, I don't know what Sam was thinking bringing that monster to Valhalla. Monster? I said, Magnus. I had a flashback to X, the half-troll Sam had once admitted to Valhalla. She'd gotten flack for that too, though X had later turned out to be Odin in disguise. Long story. You mean this newcomer is an actual monster like Furnace or some other crazy wolf? Worse, if you ask me. Hunding brushed a tuft of whiskers off his uniform name tag. cursed, nearly tore my face off when he saw his accommodations, not to mention the complete lack of proper tip. Bellhop, the manager shouted from the reception desk. Stop fraternizing and get over here. You have a dragon teeth to floss. You have dragon teeth to floss. I looked at Hunding. He makes you floss the dragon teeth? Hunding sighed. Takes forever, too. Gotta go. Hey, man, I handed him the bag of chocolate-covered espresso beans I brought from the thinking cup. Hang in there, buddy. The old Viking's eyes turned misty. Magnus Chase, you're a fine lad. I could hug you to death. Bellhop, Hungai shouted again. All right. Hold your 8-legged horses. Hunting scurried towards the front desk, which spared me from a hug to the death. As low as I felt, at least I didn't have Hunding's job. The poor guy had reached Valhalla only to be forced into servitude by Hungai, his archenemy from mortal life. I figured he deserved some chocolate now and then. Also, his friendship had always proven invaluable to me several times. Hunding knew his way around the hotel better than anybody, and he had all the juicy gossip. I headed for the elevators, wondering what an Arg was and why Sam would bring one into Valhalla. Mostly, I wondered if I had time for lunch and a nap before this afternoon's battle. It was important to be well fed and rested when dying in combat. I can stop right there. We went a little bit further and I wanted 17 minutes. So we're halfway through chapter 4, right? Yep, halfway through chapter 4. See ya.